School Spirits is the latest young adult mystery drama series to hit Paramount Plus, with the first 4 episodes now streaming on the platform. The show wastes no time in setting up the premise. We will follow Maddie Nears, a high school student, on her investigative journey in the afterlife to piece together her memories of how she got there and to discover who it was that caused her death. Thankfully, but also sadly, she has this afterlife tour guide named Charlie, played by Nick Pugliese. He guides her through the initial stages of the in-between. Charlie introduces her to the afterlife support group, which is a group of teenagers who've also died at the school, including Wally, played by Milo Manheim, Rhonda, played by Sarah Yarkin, and a teacher, Mr. Martin, played by Josh Zuckerman, who are all trapped in this afterlife together and can't seem to move on to the next phase of what comes after life and what comes after death. Maddie's death is intriguing because she is the only spirit whose body hasn't been found, even though her blood is splattered across the boiler room of the school. What makes her also different is the fact that she has no memory of her death or her disappearance, which is unlike every other member of the afterlife support group. The support group teach Maddie the ghost ground rules, which are that she can't physically leave the boundary of the school. If she does, she just gets reset to the point of her death within the school. So there's that, and she can't communicate, touch, or impact the living world. Maddie struggles with accepting that and tries to communicate with her friends on the living world. She reaches out to her friend Nicole, played by Chiara Picardo. She then tries her shady boyfriend Xavier, played by Spencer McPherson, again with no luck, until eventually she can get through to her best friend Simon, played by Christian Flores. Simon helps Maddie from the living side to try and find evidence to uncover the truth about Maddie's disappearance. Meanwhile, in the afterlife, Maddie tries to piece together these memories of her past with her new spirit friends in order to uncover the truth about what happened to her. The more that each of them uncover, the more twisted Maddie's past and her disappearance gets. We learn that her boyfriend Xavier is cheating on her with head cheerleader Claire, played by Rainbow Waddell. Come to learn that her mum is an alcoholic who struggles to care for her, and that in times of need she relied heavily on one of the teachers of the school, Mr. Anderson, played by Patrick Gilmore. So the more that they uncover, the more people become suspects, and piece by piece we get closer to finding out the truth about what happened to Maddie Nears. Although this series is a young adult drama show, it's not filled with the typical teenage tropes. Instead, it digs a little deeper and addresses things like alcoholism and unfit parenting, dealing with friendships, life goals, acceptance, and ultimately death. Another thing that makes the show so refreshing is the spirits in the afterlife support group. Even though they all died at the same school, they all died in different periods of time. So each of them brings something new to the table because they all had different high school experiences and they all died in different eras. Peyton List shines as Maddie Nears in this show. She is the heart and soul of the show, and she conveys so many different emotions really, really well in this series. The other actors that I mentioned earlier give really good performances to the point where you're constantly in suspense and second guessing who could have done this to Maddie and who is really responsible. My favorite thing that I love about the series so far, apart from the interesting premise and the solid performances, is the transitions between the past and the present. They distinguish between the two really, really well. So when Maddie is having a flashback or remembering a past memory, background objects get faded, voices get distorted, and everything goes into slow-mo, so it's almost like into a dream sequence. And sometimes there's some smooth transitions and some cool camera angles to make it more enjoyable to watch as well. My least favorite thing so far with the show is the music. Sometimes it doesn't tie in with what's happening in the shot, which is very confusing because you're unsure of how to feel in that moment, and it doesn't make things flow very fluently. Despite that, I am genuinely enjoying this series. Each episode I like to uncover more about Maddie's past. I'm in suspense about who's responsible for her death, and I'm intrigued about how they're going to find the body, where they will find the body, and I'm also curious as to how they're going to get closure, be it Maddie find her closure, the spirits in the afterlife, or her friends in the living. I'm excited to solve Maddie's mystery. If this young adult mystery drama series sounds like a TV show that you'd like to watch, you should check out School Spirit, streaming weekly on Paramount Plus.